That's Dorothy Donegan in Rogers and Hart's My Funny Valentine in this informal setting on the SS Norway. Meantime, I have found Dorothy Donegan in Los Angeles, and she is out there on the West Coast. And I guess, Dorothy, to have you on the line at this hour and this time in history is a privilege. Welcome into Minnesota Public Radio. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, Leigh, and it's so wonderful hearing from you. I remember you, 40 years ago.
Yes, indeed. We did a couple of projects together, broadcasts and what have you.
That's correct.
And in fact, I can remember we were on the streets of Duluth, Minnesota, raising money for the United States Treasury Department, and you in concert on Superior Street.
Oh, my goodness.
When you played the Flame in Duluth.
The Flame, yes. Oh, didn't they have some good food there?
Oh, they certainly did.
Uh-huh.
That spot is a memory, but it was and then Freddy's at 211 6th Street in Minneapolis, St. Paul, not to mention the Embers in New York.
In the downtown motel.
Oh, yes. Well, Dorothy, you have been traveling the world since last we talked, and have you been studying new concert works and piano works and with an eye to appearing with symphony orchestras? Did I understand that, or was that just a rumor?
No, that was the truth.
Good for you.
Yes, I'm trying to get it together. I know when you play with symphonies, you have to. They're supposed to follow me, or I'm supposed to follow them, and so you have to play all the notes. You can't improvise like you do in jazz. So it keeps me at the piano all the time, and keeps me studying with various coaches and teachers. And,
what? Who are some of those coaches and teachers?
Well, I studied with Constance King and Johanna Harris, and I have studied with Leah Effenbach.
What have you? Well, in the European classical piano repertoire, what are some of your favorite works? Do you have some, or am I asking a stupid question?
Well, I like the Rachmaninoff Second Concerto and the Third, and the Grieg A minor, and the Tchaikovsky B flat minor, and I like all the etudes by Chopin, and the preludes, and recently I did the Second Rhapsody by Gershwin with the Hollywood Symphony.
How delightful! I'm sorry we missed it. You're going to have to let us know so that we can fly in.
Yeah, so I want to do that again.
Well, perhaps you can do it with the Minnesota Orchestra one of these days.
Yeah, I'm not Alicia Della Rocca yet, but...
You're modest. Well, you know, I wanted to touch base with you briefly and talk to you a little bit later about your adventure in music and beginning in those days when Captain Walter Diet was watching over you and other young musicians in that Chicago high school just a few yesterdays ago.
Well, Captain Diet, Walter Henry Diet, taught people like Nat Cole and Savannah Strong and many of the great musicians like Jesse Miller. And I guess I could put myself in there. And he could hear a mosquito, on cotton.
Let's talk more about that a little bit later, shall we?
Yes.
All right. And would you repeat that phrase again? He could hear a mosquito on cotton.
But I left out a word.
Okay. Well, we'll have to guess what that is. Well, Dorothy, we know too that on May 19th and 20th you'll be at Suzette's on Cathedral Hill in St. Paul. Meantime, we're going back to the SS Norway, where you were recording in 1990 a medley of things that pay tribute to Errol Garner, Duke Ellington, and Juan Tizo. And we'll talk with you more.
Okay.
Nice talking with you again and touching base.
All right.
Good night, Dorothy.
Good night. Bye.